In this review, we're going to look at Persian Infantry by Wargames Atlantic. This is part of their First Empire's line of miniatures. This review is the first in a series about Wargames Atlantic miniatures. A special thank you goes out to Wargames Atlantic for sending these miniatures for review. You are listening to Must Contain Minis. We do reviews, showcases, and news about miniature products by smaller companies. Now let's get back to the Persian Infantry by Wargames Atlantic. This box contains 40 multi-part plastic miniatures that are scaled for 28mm gaming. The back of the box gives you more information about the time period that these miniatures come from and the miniatures themselves. If you want to download some flags, they also tell you that they're available from their website. This is not my regular gaming period, so I can't talk too much about the historical accuracy of these miniatures. What I can do is show you what comes in the box, how the models build up, and how they scale against other miniatures. So let's continue on the review. Here is a detailed look at the front of the miniature sprue. Let's take an even closer look. Look at the detail on these miniatures. This box is only $34.95 American, a set of 40. So we get 40 miniatures in there for $34.95. That's less than $1 a miniature, and they look this good. Here we have the back of the sprue, and a closer look at some of the details on this side of the plastic frame. Now let's take a look at how they build. Here are the first 5 figures that I built. We're going to take an even closer look at them now. My first archer, a spearman with a tower shield. I really like the look of this one. A spearman using 2 hands on his weapon. I'm not sure what kind of fur he has on his head, but he has some sort of animal cap on. Another archer. This one looks even better than the first. Wargames Atlantic put a lot of detail into these miniatures' faces. The other side of the same miniature. The 5th miniature from our collection today. I placed the shield on a bit of an angle to try to indicate some motion. I'm going to show this miniature from a few angles to show you the detail on the figure. They look pretty good, built just as gray miniatures. But how do they look once they get some paint on them? My friend Dave painted one to show. Here it is. A painted archer. The details in the model pick up very nicely when you add paint and shade. Now let's do a scale comparison to see how these figures line up against other miniatures. Left to right, we have a Frostgrave miniature, a Persian Infantry miniature, a 32mm Reaper miniature in the middle. Then we have a 28mm Wargames Atlantic Persian Infantryman again. And finally we have a Fireforge Games Zombie on the far right hand side. Oddly enough, Wargames Atlantic's miniatures don't line up perfectly between their lines. On the left hand side we have 2 Afghan warriors. On the right hand side we have 2 Persian infantrymen. You can see from this picture here that their scales are slightly different even though they're both 28mm. This is because they are designed by different sculptors. This concludes my Wargames Atlantic Persian Infantry review. These figures look great and they are excellent on price. You're talking less than $1 a figure, so if you're looking for something that is packed with value, looks good, and you can make plenty of them at an affordable rate, give Wargames Atlantic a look. Until next time, happy gaming everyone!